And there you go, Gray Ghost.
All right. So I heard you guys already had the background, so I'll be super brief on that. But where we last left off with everybody, there were a few people who had touched blue ghostly roses that had then sunk into their skin, and they felt a chill as they did so. The idea was that as time went on, and that I did, the chill would spread, and I only managed to post that a little bit. But here's what happened if you want to just prognosticate into the future. This is what you guys really did. Um, what really happened is you started to get more and more cold, more and more chilled through and through, and your energy started to go down just a little, but mostly you just kind of felt this impending entry into the afterworld that was coming, even though your body was still healthy, you suddenly felt an urgency that if you didn't fix this, the link to your spirit was going to pull your spirit into the next life early. And so, with this, all the blue roses need to be hunted down, and the gray ghost is also looking for them. And anytime you see him during the day, he seems super friendly, and he really helps you out. And as long as you don't mention the blue roses, everything seems all great. But at night, his mind shifts to what happened his last night alive, which is when he ran to find. He had finally grown, so you guys got the background. But long ago, he had tried to grow roses for the florist down the lane, who was his love, and he was growing closer and closer. And he was about to propose when she got sick. And so he waited, and a doctor came in who was the gentleman. And the gentleman claimed to be able to heal her. And so he, along with the florist's family, helped fund the gentleman. And over time, he went and, yeah, that gentleman in chat right there. Um, not distracting at all. He, the gray ghost knew that his uh his 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 the florist, her name was Laurel. um her favorite color was blue, and so to help raise her spirits, he set himself on the impossible task of making a blue rose. After a year of struggle, he finally succeeded in the impossible, because it technically is impossible to make a blue rose. Perhaps he touched into some of the veins of ghostliness that were already settling into the house. But on the day that he arrived, his love, he saw the gentleman leaving and the mortician entering her home. So and this happened at night. And so when you met the gray ghost at night, he could see the roses on you under the light of the moon, whether the moon was touching or not. Nighttime was all it took. And the mortician, good link up there. You already know. I don't know if we technically okayed that link there, but that's likely the case unless the taxidermist vetoes that. But that was an idea. So as the moon touches and everything, he would go after you like he did that one time when he had uh let's see names here. There
Me.
was Gamebird and um one other, I think they had purple in their name, who got attacked outside on the grounds, and that's why. Um but as it progressed through the days and the nights, and people were getting more and more sick, more roses would be able to be found. There was one that was in the hedge that had been approached twice but not claimed. There was another one that was held by the gray ghosts, by the dead rose bush, which the gray ghost would never go to. Um, and at the rose bush, once it became, once the butler, Tom, perhaps, had leaked some of the information of, oh yeah, once we had a gardener, and the rose bush was very important, and he died of a broken heart right after he found out that his love had perished. Um, People would go to the Rose, and then at the Rose, there was going to be his younger, Laurel's younger sister, who would have information about how her older sister had been um, getting sick and lots of cool things about some of the backstory there. And there was one person who went down into the pit of thorns. Right before they went down into the pit of thorns, there was a mention on one of the pots. Several of the pots went from just native plants to healing plants. And there was also a mention of a sister that there was a nightlight plant that was there for her, and that was this sister. Um, and so the sister would say where Laurel was buried, and it was in the basement. And so the Gray Ghost's one wish that he always wanted to do was to deliver the blue roses, and that was the advice the younger sister was going to give you. And the younger sister was going to direct you that way as well as give you a rose. And there was another one that I think was held by maybe the gentleman, and maybe there was one somewhere else as well. And everyone would go down to the basement, and the Gray Ghost would sense so many roses together and come tearing after you. You would have to make rolls. He would have vines coming and binding you. Um, and every time, if anyone was caught, it would take, um, the blue roses would be able to freeze the vines if you could figure that out, and then it would get you free. As you went down to the grave, all of you laying a hand at midnight, the hand that has the blue rose on it onto the headstone was giving her the roses, which you all did, even though we didn't do it. You totally did it. And so, as you did that, the 7 blue roses, which was going to be her number, which was going to be scattered through everything because she died 7 days before her birthday, and 7 blue roses, she went ahead and put her palm. Oh, yeah, and the gentleman was a total liar, if he didn't tell you that. So, he's not a doctor. By the way, if you kind of figured out that she died, it's because he had no idea what he was doing, but he was accepting the money. He's an awesome psycho. Not a very good person, but he's very good at being a psycho. So, um, everyone's palms on it. The headstone glows blue before you with an unearthly light, and you start to see a wisp coming up. Behind you, the gray ghost freezes, shrinks, and you see, perhaps you figured this out before, perhaps you didn't, but you see the daytime version of the gray ghost who looks different, smaller, and he says, Laurel? And Laurel comes up, and the roses are all around her, sucked out of you. You are all healed, and you feel warmth finally re entering your body. As Laurel comes up, she moves over the blue roses going into a bouquet in one hand, and then in her other hand, she simply raises it and touches the gray ghost on the cheek and says, Carl, I never wanted the roses. I was just waiting for you. Thank you. And then she blows on the blue roses, and one petal from each of them, 7 petals, go down onto the ground, and she says, let's finally go where we belong. And they both go up, and it seems as though the ceiling is not there as they continue to transcend into the sky and disappear. From the blue rose petals, you you hear Laurel's voice as though from afar. These are now safe and gifts for you. Thank you for reuniting us. And then it closes out. And if you chose to touch the blue rose petal, you would once again have the blue rose imprinted on your palm, but no chill. And you would always be able to have light at night and always feel an extra bit of warmth anytime there was a chilly night outside. And that would have been the close. And there would have been just a moment at the end as well where you could see a third figure coming to ascend with them, which would have been Laurel's younger sister. And they all would have gone together. So, thus ends the story of the Grey Ghost, and begins all of your 7 enchanted stories with just a bit of magic with you wherever you go.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you for all of the role playing. We've loved seeing that storyline.
It was a ton of fun. Thank you guys for sending a whole bunch of awesome things and doing the letter stuff back and forth. It was great. The one guy who ate the mushroom was really fun. I don't know if it ended up going from there, but it was like,
It was awesome.
you ate it? You that wasn't the response I was expecting. And then the thorn travel and just going through all of that with all the pots where you were choosing things and found the trapdoor that I didn't think you would, and then someone who found the safe haven, which was going to be part of where getting down that might have been a secret way down to the basement in the safe haven that one person found behind the waterfall in the conservatory. That was Game Bird. And someone else surviving the thorn whips but finding the blue rose in the hedge the first time. Yeah, there was a lot of really good stuff. Good role play. And thank you guys for making it awesome.
Yeah, awesome. All right, I'm going to stop this recording and we'll start another one.